They break their arm. Oh well. Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? It's your boy, do the John. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, please hit that sub button. And if you haven't already, hit that notification bell to let you know when I post another video for you guys. And hit that like button. And if you like video game content, check out my video game channel, Do the John Gaming. Link is down below in the description. Let's get into the video, shall we? Hey everybody, this is Free Range versus Strict Parents. Is spanking your kids ever okay? Middle ground, put together, well not put together, but by Jubilee. I cannot pronounce it. You can read it in the title. Alright, let's get into it.
As the child grows and as you as a parent train that child, then more freedom should be granted to make their own decisions.
But I don't think we should train our children. I feel like you train a dog and not a kid.
I think train is a good word.
I don't want to train child.
Okay, well I do.
Marilyn.
Train a kid? It's kind of a bad word to use, to be honest with you. I would like to consider myself more of a middle in between Free Range and Strict. I would like to guide my child to do the right things and stuff like that, but training, I don't, that's,
Parents are accused of child neglect after allowing their two kids to walk home alone from a park about a mile away.
When you hear the term free-range parent, what do you think of?
I see a wide range within free-range parenting, but parents that basically let their kids do whatever they want, and I see that as a recipe for disaster.
When I think of a strict parent, I think of someone who might be more concerned with the behavior of the child than the heart of the child.
I actually do consider myself strict, but I want to be emotionally conscious.
We've been told by this oppressive, safety-obsessed, terrified society that you can never let your kid do anything on their own, maybe till they're like 36.
It's a luxury to be a free-range parent because there is a certain privilege that goes with that.
Being a strict parent, I think, first of all, I imagine stress. Should be a really fun time of your life. Why follow all these rules when you want to enjoy your kids?
I can kind of agree with that. However, you can still enjoy your kids and being quote unquote strict.
Hi, I'm Hal Chafee. I have 5 kids. I'm a minister, and we live in Maryland.
I'm Christian. I am a birth and postpartum doula as well as a newborn care specialist. I have one daughter who is 7.
Hi, I'm Jenny Atkins. I have 2 daughters. I'm a health coach and I wrote a children's healthy cookbook.
My name's Nguyen. I live in Los Angeles. I have 1 child. I'm a chef, restaurateur, author.
I'm Jody, and I'm the CEO of the Madden House, and I have 8 children, and I'm from LA.
8 kids.
Hi to everybody. I'm Lenore. I'm the mother of 2, and I founded the book, blog, and movement Free Range Kids. Surprise. I founded the Free Range Kids movement. I let my 9-year-old ride the subway in New York City by himself. I wrote a
A 9-year-old. You let a 9-year-old ride the subway. I suppose it's okay if it's in like a small, in New York City. New York City. You stupid. I'm sorry, but that kind of free range, I don't agree with. Because you know how bad crime is in New York City? What I've heard, it's not the greatest city to let your kids just run wild. Oh, God.
column, and 2 days later I was on the Today Show, MSNBC, Fox News, and NPR defending my parenting style. And I started Free Range Kids that weekend as a blog to say, look, I believe in safety. I just don't think that we have to, have a security detail every time we let our kids out of the house.
So can I have...
Yes, to an extent. But if you're letting your kid ride a fucking subway in New York City, that is kinda, messed up. That kid can be kidnapped, hurt, or whatnot. I mean, if the kid is going to a park across the street or a few blocks down, or going to school, yeah, I can see you letting them walk to school or walk into the park or playing outside without a supervisor or whatever, a parent there. But riding a subway in New York City by him or herself, I think that's totally neglect, and you will feel horrible if something were to happen because you weren't there. Think about that.
I have my free range parents on the left and my strict parents on the right.
See you later, Free Range parents.
Children should be trusted to make their own decisions.
Depend on the age.
So of course children should make their own decisions. I mean, we're trying to raise them to be responsible adults. If they don't make decisions, they'll never learn.
When my child...
Yes, but it also depends on the decision and how old they are. If they're not even in their teenage life, it's your job to teach them.
is possibly going to make a bad decision. What I want to do is not tell him it's a bad decision. I think that's the wrong thing to do, because then ultimately he's probably going to reject that anyway.
Also, it depends on what we're talking about decisions about. Like if it's bedtime and you want your kids to be in bed at 8 o'clock, I think that is up to you. But I remember a time my son called me.
Oh, so bedtime, that is up to you for the decision, but everything else isn't? Come on.
He was 10 at the time, and he said, "Mom, can I have another piece of banana bread?" And I thought, I felt bad, because of course that's a very simple decision. They expected that I was the one to decide almost everything about what they were eating and doing, and I felt like there was something wrong, and that actually started me reevaluating things. And can they climb the tree? Just let them climb the tree.
And what's the worst that can happen? They break an arm?
Right, yeah.
Oh well.
Brand new headset. She pissed me off. What the worst thinking can happen? They break their arm? Oh well. What kind of fucking mother are you? I'm sorry if whoever's watching this, who's getting angry for what I'm saying, but this is just why I see things. You don't have to agree. You can disagree if you want. But what kind of parent would say that? Oh, you broke an arm. Oh, well, it doesn't matter you break your arm. I don't care. Come on.
Well, for my kid specifically, she can go outside and play after school, and she can draw, and she can do whatever. Exactly. But there is a very healthy boundary. Like, we don't have the type of health care that most people have. So like, no, you can't climb a tree. If it's like, oh, I don't want to play violin anymore. But it's like, you're not allowed to quit things that you start, because even as an adult, you become a flaky adult.
Well, you see so many parents nowadays who just like bend to every whim of their child. Children should be trusted to make their own decisions when it is wise for them to make their own decisions. You know, I'm not going to let my 5-year-old decide that he's not going to brush his teeth anymore, because he doesn't. You know, as the child grows and as you as a parent train that child, then more freedom should be granted to make their own decisions.
But I don't think we should train our children. I feel like you train a dog and not a kid.
I think train is a good word.
I don't want a
Like-
trained child.
Okay, well I do.
I want
I
a child
want my
who has
child to be
creativity
trained, to be
and who's
respectful.
maybe not like me.
You know, yeah, I'm not saying it's to
Yeah.
be like me.
Do you think you need to train them to be respectful, or do you think that you guide them in a way to learn to be respectful because of the decisions they've chosen?
Both.
Guide is the better word, because training, yeah, like I agree with her. Training is like training a dog. Guiding is how you supposed. I'd be right back. I'm gonna pause the really? You can't pause the record. You can't pause the recording. What the fuck? I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. I had something in the oven was kind of smoky, so I had to turn it off. I had to figure out what's going on with that. No fire, no fire.
So what would you consider your parenting style to be?
I try to be as biblical as I can when it comes to parenting. I know a lot of people would disagree on that, but I have 5 kids and I do my best to follow it, and I found so much wisdom, and it's worked.
I don't really follow rules. Even if it's a theory of free-range parenting per se, if you're following those free-range parenting rules, then you become strict. And I don't think that there should be rules. It should be whatever the day brings.
Oh, okay. There shouldn't be rules. So your kid can go to bed anytime they want. The kid can go to a store and steal anything they want. The kid can be a bully. The kid can do whatever they want to do, right? Because you don't believe in rules. I don't like her. I do not like her one bit.
Kids deserve privacy.
Yes. On most parts, but no, depending on what it is.
Wait, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
There we
wait,
go.
wait.
Oh wait, we have a straggler.
Even though they're not adults, they're still people, and they need time to either hear their thoughts or process things, or just they need a sense of comfort in solitude and things that are sacred to them.
So I don't have any teenagers yet. There's no way.
Just wait.
There's no way.
Maybe my opinion will change.
I mean, there's no way that I'm not going to have access to their cell phone. That's not going to happen. But if they want time alone, I think that's fine, and they should have that, and it's healthy to do that. The reason I hesitated is because I think back to my childhood. There were things that happened sometimes that can last with you for the rest of your life. You know, people can be abused online now. So when I have that parent spidey sense of something's not right here, and my kid's gonna be like, no, you can't have my cell phone. Yes, I can.
In our household, we live by this kind of thought. Live your life in such a way that if everyone could see what you're doing in private, that you wouldn't be ashamed. So my kids also look through my phone. Privacy is not something a child should be entitled to have. Do we give our kids quiet downtime? Yes. Am I looking through all their stuff? No.
I actually agree with the definition of downtime and privacy. At my house, there's no privacy because you don't pay any bills. She also trusts me, and I've wanted to make a relationship to where she trusts me that even if she came to tell me, like, there's no yell, I don't yell and I don't scream and I don't do any things like that. We're very open, but there is no privacy.
So I just wanted to put in a plea, though, for some privacy. You know, I go around and I talk about free-range kids, and sometimes what I ask the audience is to tell me when something did go wrong. And I ask them, did you tell your parents? What do you think they said?
No.
Why do you think they said it?
Fear.
Fear of what?
Being in trouble,
You think it's trouble. They said they didn't want their freedom taken away.
I think it's important, though, that we hold our children accountable, because in the world, there are plenty of adults who are not held accountable, who've never been held accountable, and they just do things that are terrible.
But most of childhood is little things, and you don't have to be there for everyone, because that's when kids start realizing, I can handle this.
Not necessarily.
When you hear the term free-range parent, what do you think of?
Privilege, the ability to just do things without any repercussions or consequences. As a Black person or a person of color, we sometimes just don't have the privilege to allow our children to be free range. Although I would love for her to be free spirited and just do and be, she can't, because Black kids get murdered in the street.
Parents should be parents and not friends.
Ooh.
No, this is actually hard for me. My job is not to be my kid's friend, it's to be their parent. But I don't think that is mutually exclusive of not being their friend either, if that makes any sense. But I prioritize, right, being the parental unit.
Me and my mom, I would say that she's my best friend. But like as a child, she was my mom. And I hope to have that type of relationship with my daughter. But right now, I'm the parent and you're the child, because I don't want you to lose respect for me. Like, I'm not gonna go clubbing with my daughter. Like, there's just some things that I'm just not gonna do, that I do with my friends, that I'm not gonna do with my kid.
I agree that I'm their mom first, but I'm also their friend. I'm also someone that they trust and admire and they come to, and I listen to them, and I...
You can be a parent and do all that stuff. You don't necessarily have to be a friend to your child for that.
Give them my opinions, and we have forged a friendship, but it's not without my position as the authority in their life, their provider, their comfort, their mama.
In my mind, once my kids
here we go.
are 18, or let's just say moved out of the house, they are an adult. And at that point, I want to stop parenting. If I haven't parented enough by the time they're 18, then that was my chance. I don't want to be a parent after 18. And when it comes to clubbing,
I'm sorry, little bitch. Okay, I take that back. I'm sorry, but once a parent, you're always going to be a parent. It's not like, oh, you're 18 years old. I'm no longer your mommy. You're always going to be your child's mom. And what is a mom or a dad? A parent.
I hope that when my kid is old and grown up and they're going out for a beer at a bar or whatever they're doing, of course I want to come with them.
But here's...
Oh, so she's saying she's a party girl. Okay, she's one of those kind of moms.
The thing, I just want to say on the other side of that is that we never stop growing up. I mean, man, I don't have parents. I wish I did. There's some times where I wish I could just ask for help. I mean, my grandmother just passed away in May. And I remember like just feeling like, what am I gonna do? And that was not a friend moment. That was me hiding like a little child on her lap, weeping and crying and needing that.
I guess I don't want
do
that.
No, you're going to do that. If your kid comes to you, I'm sure you will.
Of course. I guess I just want this.
Right.
You know, I want them to be very independent.
Right. But you
and
can be
strong, and
very
I don't want
independent.
them to feel-
She's super independent.
Yeah, for sure.
With your own mother, do you have a mother? And if you do, do you ever just need your mama sometimes? Do you ever just...
Not really.
You don't need to like get hugged or have like
I
the
speak
love
to
and
her like
comfort?
she's my friend.
Okay.
Now. And I think I spoke to her as my friend when I was growing up as well. Because she didn't parent. I had no
That's why
rules.
she's crazy.
And that explains a lot. When you talk about your philosophy, it's really a first-hand account where maybe some of the rest of us are like exploring how we might want to parent.
Right, but we all raise our children probably according to a little bit of how we were raised.
What we know, what we wished had been different,
Yeah.
and then there's so many societal influences. Sure.
I can't. There's so much stuff I can say about her. Not her, but I think you already know by if you're watching this far ahead. Oh my God, she's the father side of me is just kind of. I would never ever date a parent like that. Because technically she is not a parent. By the way her answers are, not her, but by her answers, I could not date someone who is that blindsided. I'm not saying all free range parents are bad. This one right here, I agree with. She's a free range parent. Most of the things, her answers, I've been agreeing with. Parts of it. The other one, I've been kind of okay with her answers. Besides the subway thing, that kind of got me upset. But that one, I'm okay with free range to an extent. And that one just, no. There's no way in hell I would ever let my kid have a stepmom like that. Or a mom, for that matter. Or any of my future kids, hopefully one day, if I can ever find somebody. But anyway, it's free range is good to an extent, but you also have to be a parent. To her, in her eyes, a parent is no such thing. You have to be a friend to your kid. That's what I'm getting at. But I don't know. I'm biting my tongue so much with her.
Before you were kind of facing everything on your own, that you didn't have parents to kind of guide you. How do you think that has changed the way that you parent?
Growing up without the security of knowing who I was and knowing that I was dearly loved and cherished by my mother and father was soul-crushing for me. As a mother, I have the opportunity to raise up a new generation of healthy, whole individuals who are able to go forth and create new families of their own and be a light in this world. And that's really what my hope is with my children.
Spanking your child is an acceptable form of punishment.
Whoa. Whoa. The minister, of all people, I would think it would. No, she's too much of a friend to her kid. Oh my! I can't. Oh my God.
I don't want to get involved at all.
Yeah, this is not.
Do we have to?
We don't have to do it at all.
I don't even want to stand back here.
Well, we don't have to. You guys don't have to participate in the conversation whatsoever.
But is it going to show our position, like standing back or sitting?
We do see you guys in the background, but we just want to hear his perspective. Then people can walk forward. But if you don't want to participate in the conversation whatsoever, you don't have to.
Well, yeah, so I'm kind of saddened that nobody else walked forward because not only do I think it's an acceptable form of punishment, but I think it's one of the best. And the reason is because it's effective.
Okay, I was with him throughout the entire thing, basically, until now.
It's quick, it's over, it's done, and the kid can go off and play again and not have to sit in a corner or languish in a room or something like that. And it's not about getting angry, I'm mad, I'm gonna whack my kid. No, it's about, okay, you did something you weren't supposed to do, and you're going to get spanked for this.
So I'm going to ask any of my disagreeers who wish to step forward to talk about this. Please do. If you wish not to step forward, you don't have to.
Oh shit! Here comes
the
the
specific
blondie.
anecdote I have is for my child is one time like, you know, as a parent, you can lose your patience, and that happens. We would just kind of like slap him on the hand when he did something, like, don't do that, don't do that. And I remember one time he did something, and he started becoming more self-aware, and he started hitting himself on the hand and hitting himself. And I was like, I can't do this. We can't go down this path with him. This is not going to work for, at least specifically for him. And I think it's a case-by-case basis too. Like, you know, you've led your kids in a way that hopefully he doesn't lash out into the real world. I don't want him to react like that to someone else either. And I just feel like that's my responsibility. So.
Yeah, and you know, I hear that opponents to spanking will say, I don't want my child to be violent.
Yeah.
You know, I have 5 kids, 10 and under, and the exact opposite is true.
Because do you think it's a bad memory for them?
What's that?
Do you think that they're going to have memories of these times being spanked, and that it will be
sure, and I think
something
they'll be
that
thankful for it. I would do, because I
mean, I would be lying if I said I never have spanked my child. Of course but I don't feel good about it. Yeah. Don't you want to raise your child to not want to do things because they feel as if they'll be a better person, not because they're going to be punished for it?
Yeah, both. See, this is hard for me to understand because I come from a culture where everyone, like all my friends, have loving parents that spank them as kids. And now they've grown up to be great well-functional adults who respect their parents and are glad their parents spanked them.
Okay, I'm just gonna say my view. Mm-hmm. So I don't spank my child, one, because of chattel slavery and Jim Crow. Mm-hmm. I'm a black person and I live in a world where black people are beaten all the time. I have a mother who spanked me. Mm-hmm. I'm not glad that I was spanked. Mm-hmm. I respect her, but I'm not happy about that. Also the same thing with the people who are like, I was spanked, I came out great. They usually have like anger issues, they're violent, they whoop their own kids, they probably need therapy. Usually they don't even realize how emotionally fucked up they are.
Well, you gotta understand, parenting is more than just I spank or I don't spank. If you're a terrible parent and you think that spanking is gonna fix your kid, you're wrong.
I sometimes feel
I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes wish spanking was legal. Was legal, not illegal. It is illegal. But I would never spank Hunter. Even though there's times where he gets me so upset where I just don't know what else to do. But I would never actually physically lay a hand on him. Not on purpose.
fear I'm raising my children the wrong way.
I'm about to say it. That blonde doesn't come forward. She's crazy in the head. But what parent in the right mind don't feel that way? I feel it all the time. I'm like, I always question myself, am I raising Hunter the right way? Am I doing something wrong, or am I a bad parent, or stuff like that? I always question myself. Even though I know personally that I do things the best as I can to my knowledge and stuff, but yeah. And of course, the magistrate.
I think part of parenting is always worrying. I mean, as hard as I try to do the right things, you know, there's always doubts in your mind that you've done something wrong.
I love to tell parents, especially new ones, that we're all winging it. We're making mistakes every day, but the good thing about it is that our kids still love us. They still look at us like mommy and their
or
eyes.
Friend. Right. Club buddy.
Right. So like parenting is literally just like one huge ass experiment.
That's a nice expression.
One huge ass
Parenting is one huge ass experiment. Right.
That's a book title.
People think that I have the answer because I wrote Free Range Kids and I run this Let Grow, and all I can say is that believing in your kids, you know, believing in them, whether you give them a timeout or you're spanking them, believing that your kids have this capacity for being a decent human being and they're going to make mistakes, they're going to be okay. That's what kids want.
Oh boy. So
first of all, I think that parents are too hard on themselves, and you know what? Ultimately, your children are going to make their own decisions. For me, I don't wonder about whether or not I'm raising my kids right, because I try to raise my kids according to what the Bible says. And so I have a guide that I fall short fulfilling all the time, but I look to it as my guide. And so just a few simple guidelines, if you follow and you love your kids, you care about them, and you spend time with them, then ultimately they're going to be okay.
I just love my kids so much, and I give them 110%. One of the neat things that I'm giving my kids that's a little bit different is a mother and father who are married and faithful to one another, which I didn't have that. And so it makes me feel really good that I'm giving them that. I know that I'll never just be totally set in my ways and be unwilling to change and to become a better mother. So I will never give up growing myself.
The one piece of parenting advice I give everyone is don't listen to all the advice, because the beautiful thing about parenting is not what...
Here's the advice. Don't listen to all the advice.
you're teaching your child, but sometimes what you're learning with your child.
I think we all just want the same things. Everybody wants their children to be confident and secure in their love.
It's just a lot of fun to have kids, and I always tell people, I said, if you want to be a happier person, have more kids, because kids are just so much fun.
Sometimes. Oh my God. I'm sorry for all the stopping and exploding on you guys. But I had to get my point out the way I feel. I almost every aspect of each one of them I been agreeing with. Like I said earlier, I tend to classify myself more of a in between free range and strict. But that blonde girl, God, I can guarantee you when I end this recording, I'm gonna go like crazy just because he. Oh. Due to some reasons. But, yep. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. And you are loved.